beginnen hier en nu. En daarna dan, nou, het weg natuurlijk.
Okay, thanks, Charlotte. I'm going to switch to English. I hope that's okay with everyone. We're a small group, which is actually really exciting. That means we can get to know each other a little bit. We have our names, so you can start scouting everyone's name. Let's take a moment to try to remember the names that we see around us.
They're asking a lot here.
And then I'm going to ask you to take off your name tag.
Oh.
You can stick it on your back, or you can stick it on your, not on your leg, here, but yeah, you can use it later on. So like I said, it's a fairly small group, a little bit bigger than I've ever done this activity with, but I'm still going to give it a try. We live here, and right now here we are together. So let's get to know each other a little bit more. So I want to go around, and everyone say out loud and clear your first name. We're going to do that a couple times. And for the rest of us, try to remember everyone's name.
Let's make it a little bit more of a circle so I can see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see your name. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we have enough room.
Okay.
So I'll kick it off. Mark.
Kate.
Marcel.
Michael.
Charlotte.
Zabdij.
Kees.
Mon. Erika. Jacobien. Garis. Marije.
Robert-Jan. Arjan.
En de midden.
Martin. Peter. Erwin.
Daas.
Oké, dat ging snel, hè? We gaan er nog een paar keer doen. Mark.
Kate.
Marcel.
Michael.
Charlotte.
Zabdij.
Kees.
Mon. Erika. Jacobien. Garis. Marije.
Robert-Jan. Arjan.
En de midden.
Martin. Peter. Erwin.
Daas.
Nu gaan we iets sneller. Now we'll go a little faster.
Sorry, in English. One more time, what's your name?
En de midden.
In the middle.
That's Danish.
Danish, okay. Sorry. Yes, exactly. Okay.
Mark.
Kate.
Marcel.
Michael.
Charlotte.
Zabdij.
Kees.
Mon. Erika. Jacobien. Garis. Marije.
Robert-Jan. Arjan.
En de midden.
Martin. Peter. Erwin.
Daas.
Okay. We're going to do it one more time. Next round, you're going to name the person to the right of you. So we're going to keep it, we're going to do the same thing for now. Mark.
Kate.
We're going to keep the same activity. Same activity for now.
Just prepare.
Yeah, Mark.
Kate.
Marcel.
Michael.
Charlotte.
Zabdij.
Kees.
Mon. Erika. Jacobien. Garis. Marije.
Robert-Jan. Arjan.
En de midden.
Martin. Peter. Erwin.
Daas.
Daas.
Mark.
Kate.
Erwin.
Michael. Marcel.
Marcel. Shabai.
Kees. Mon. Erika. Jacobien. Garis.
Marije. Robert-Jan.
Arjan.
Anne-Mea. Martin. Peter.
Erwin.
Daas.
Begint te werken. Nu de persoon, now the person left of you. Kate.
Marcel.
Michael. Michel.
Charlotte.
Zabdij.
Kees.
Oh, wow.
Erika. Jacobien. Garis. Marije. Robert-Jan.
Arjan. Anne-Mea.
Martin.
Peter. Erwin. Daas.
Mark.
Ja, oké. Nu gaan we onze eigen naam weer zeggen. We gaan weer terug. Maar nu gaan we het lichaam ook gebruiken. En, oh, you're right. Yeah, I had to switch to English. That's absolutely correct. Being recorded here for an international audience. So you're absolutely right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is you say your name, your own name, and you're going to do a move. So I'm going to start. Mark. And now it's up to you.
Kate.
Okay?
Marcel. Michael.
Charlotte.
Zabdij.
Kees.
Hele lange show. Mon. Erika. Jacobien. Garis. Marije.
Robert-Jan. Arjan. Martin. Peter. Erwin.
Daas.
it a little quicker. Mark.
Kate.
Marcel.
Michael.
Charlotte.
Sabdij.
Kees.
Erika, Jacqueline, Karis.
Robert-Jan. Arjan.
En de Merre.
Martin. Peter.
Erwin. Daas.
Okay, now I want you to say someone else's name, and then when you hear your name, you need to do your dance. So I'm going to start with Marije. And then it's up to you to say another name.
Daas. Charlotte.
En de midden.
Dat is te makkelijk. Nou, Arjen.
Erwin.
Marcel.
Dat is
Jacobine.
Kees.
Kate.
Robert-Jan.
Charlotte.
Ja, maar dus ik wil best nog een keer. Michael.
Martin.
Peter.
Garis.
Sabdij.
Man.
Ik denk alleen Erika.
Ja, ik ook. Je bent er dan.
And back to me. Okay. Big round of applause. Okay, we're going to do one more, then we're going to sit down, and Charlotte is actually going to kick it up today. So right now, I'm going to point at someone, and then I'm going to say left, right, you, or me. And then you're going to answer that. So I'm going to point, then I'm going to say left. You need to name the person left of you. When I say right, you name the person right of you. You mention your own name. Or me, you mention my name. So I'm going to start. Me.
En de Merre.
Me.
Oh. Oh. I missed that. Mark.
And then it's your turn to point at someone and say left or right or
Yeah.
you or me.
Okay. Left.
It's a Mo.
And
Left,
then,
right?
Yeah. And
Right.
Left, right of me. Right.
No, you get to
And
point.
then you get to point. Yeah, you mentioned one's
I
name.
mentioned point, and I have to say me.
Kees.
And then you get to point someone.
Arjen.
And then you say left, right, me or you.
Left.
Annemet.
Okay,
Yeah.
back to.
Mhm.
Ja.
Yeah, but you get to say, you get to point and
Left.
who are you pointing at? You can point at someone and then say left, right.
Okay. No, so you're asking him.
Yeah.
Point to him and ask to him.
Right, left.
Michael of Michael.
Who cares?
Michael uit. En dan zeg ik rechts. Right.
Marije.
Okay.
Sabdij. Links.
Kees.
Okay, then you get to point, say left, right, you or me.
Daas.
You need to-
Right.
Erin.
Okay. Dash, you get to point.
Beetje like
Links wijzen en links rechts.
Oh, dit ook. Oh ja, sorry.
Je moet die spelen.
Ja.
En naam zeggen?
Nee, links.
Links,
Ja,
rechts,
ja,
hier,
ja.
links.
Left.
Jacobine.
En point.
Left.
Peter. Right.
Michael. En Dan denk ik. En dan zeg ik, you.
Garis.
I think we've pretty much gone through everyone, so this was a little bit more tricky. Big round of applause. Thank you so much for playing with me so far. It's time to find a seat and for Charlotte to kick us off.
So I'd say get something to drink and have a seat. For now, I'd like to introduce Mark. I've met him today, and in the corresponding emails in front, I thought, oh, this is a really enthusiastic guy, and well, we just how do you say it, heard or seen or had experience, yes, that he is. And he's also, and that's what we thought really nice, is the Creative Morning host in Hong Kong. But I'm not sure, but are you recently or not? Or a long time?
I started in November.
In November, because I saw something and I thought 3 weeks, and I thought, no, it's not 3 weeks, I guess, but...
Well, the thing is that I started in November, but with Omicron going, like, ravaging through Hong Kong, I only have been able to organize one event since November.
Oh, no, that's not well. But we were very, nice to have you here, and I thought it's nice to sort of hear about how what you do in Hong Kong, but we'll talk about that later. And he's also the community manager of, and it is Global Service Jam, and I looked it up because I didn't know it, and you have to sort of look it up because it sounded really nice. It's about getting, like, it's a sort of a jam session, but not for musicians, but for, well, technicians, innovators, sort of everyone. You can get into the process of getting a new concept or idea and, well, sort of make something out of it. Maybe you can explain it better.
I love how you do it, actually.
But I thought it was really nice, and I thought, oh, I don't think we have that in Holland, do you know?
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I expect there to be, because it's the Global Service Jam, and it's a design hackathon, and there's obviously a big design community in the Netherlands, so I expect there to be one. Maybe, do you know if there's one?
Yeah, we did 2012.
You did 2012?
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. For the second year, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's a weekend hackathon. It's just amazing.
So
Interesting people.
Marcel is in sort of that line of business, and I'm sort of making nice things from paper, so I don't really know about that. But
what was the name of
the Global
Service
Service Jam.
Surfer Jam?
Global Service Jam, yeah. And well, I don't know, but you are also the senior consultant in a recruiting business that's called COGS. That's why I sort of saw this. So I'm very pleased that you're here, and well, the entrance was really nice, so I'll give the stage to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I think this is a pretty good illustration. So with Creative Mornings, we get the illustration from Headquarter, who organizes it with local chapters. And if you see this as a timeline, now is pretty much all the time. And that's why I thought it was a pretty spot-on illustration. So yeah, Charlotte already did the introduction. So my name is Mark. I grew up in the province of Utrecht, but closer to Amsterdam, so I could see the Amsterdam arena from my attic window. Went to school here in Utrecht, then moved to Haarlem. I lived in Haarlem for a couple of years while I studied in Amsterdam. Then went to the US for a semester, came back and lived in Amsterdam for 7 years. Met Kate, then we moved back to Haarlem, and now we've been in Hong Kong for 4.5 years. Time really is flying. Since November, I've been running events for Creative Mornings. Well, one so far, and they had one 7 hours ago. They just finished Creative Mornings this morning, which is funny because I was obviously helping the speaker to prepare for their big talk, and then I had to urgently come to the Netherlands, got in touch with Marcel, and now I need to do it myself, which is a little strange. But I want to uncover now a little bit. So I first of all did a Google search. What is now? Is there a definition of now? And I found 3 definitions, and they're actually quite opposite of each other. The first one you might recognize, that's at the present time moment. So for example, now is time for action. Then we all know we're talking about this moment in time. But now also means in the immediately before the present. So I thought of that just now, which means a second ago. But now can also be immediately after. So for example, come in now, or I'll do it right now. So now doesn't necessarily mean one thing. There's more definitions to now. And I'm not even talking about the South African now, if you're familiar with that. To me, that could be any time in the future. I'm very curious to get an understanding of which one of those three resonates with you guys. So by a quick show of hands, I would like to get an understanding of that. So if we look at now being the present moment, by a quick show of hands, who resonates most with that? Okay, that's most, okay. Then we have the time immediately before the present. Okay, that's not, okay. And the time immediately following. Okay, so you resonate most with immediately following right now. Cool, it's interesting to see that most of us do associate now with this present. We're all sitting here in this room right now together, which resonates with me the most as well. So I wanted to uncover that a little bit. So I dug into my experiences, my history, see if there was any kind of anchors that I find close to being in the present. So what is now for me? So again, this now is the present moment, because that one resonates with me as well, just like most of you guys. So here and now, the way that I look at here and now is that we're all within constraints. And within those constraints, we need to find creativity, and we can work with that. But that's, to me, is the here and now. Then I see there's a now or never. That's where you chase experiences. An experience you might miss out on if you don't act right now. And then for me, there is living in the now. And to me, that kind of means not being too worried about the past or about future consequences. I have some examples. So obviously, like I said, I dug through my own history, my own experiences, and I found a couple that really reflect these three. So the here and now, it was 2 years ago, COVID has just hit China, it came into Hong Kong. Restrictions were very quickly put in place. And we were supposed to organize a dinner for friends every month. Another couple would organize, it was our turn. And yeah, with the restrictions, we were not able to meet. So I thought, why not gather online? And I'll do a little quiz. I'll come up with some questions, some rounds. I did a music round and a picture round. We had a lot of fun, but it ended till 2 a.m. So you saw everyone's eyes getting smaller and red, and the bottles of wine getting emptier. So we had a lot of fun, but I thought, this is working pretty well. What if I tweak it a little bit and go out and promote it, see what happens? And at some point I did three quizzes online per week. I did a YouTube live quiz, I did remote open for anyone to join, and I did private quizzes for family, friends that were abroad, or for companies with dispersed teams. And that kind of turned into a little bit of a business while I was on furlough, a little bit in between job, and it kind of kept me busy. And within the constraints that I had with COVID, I kind of got to use my creativity and really do something that I had a lot of fun doing. Meantime, found a new full-time job, and now this is a bit of a side hustle, which I can actually do in the bar again. So that's also pretty cool. And then there is the now or never. Where Kate said, I'm going to travel for reasons the company folded, and she's like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to Asia. And I was like, well, I still have my job. Let me keep my job so we have some sort of an income, and I'll see you when you get back. She's like, okay, cool, I'll do that. And then she came back the next day and said, okay, I met up with my buddy Brad, and we're going to China. Cool, yeah, you should totally do it. And we found this amazing trip. We're gonna hike and camp on the Great Wall. And that's the day I decided to put in my notice period and leave the company that I work for and to travel with Kate. So that is an example where living in the now or never, where I wanted to chase that experience because I thought that would be once in a lifetime. And then there's the last now, slide, which is this little fur ball, which to me represents living in the now. Again, back to COVID, there was not much going on. There were sport teams were all shut down, clubs were closed, bars were closed. So on a Sunday afternoon, we didn't have much to do. But a colleague of ours, her neighbor was moving out of Hong Kong back to Australia. Bringing pets to Australia is a proper pain. So she was like, I'd rather find a good home for this cat than bringing it with us. And I was like, absolutely not. We're not taking a cat, too much responsibility. We're not even know where we will live in half a year, so let's not do it. But hey, I'm down for an activity. So we went over with a lovely coffee with the lady. And I sat down on the couch and imagine a Hong Kong apartment about this size. I sat on the couch, I saw the cat jump off the bed, jump on the couch onto my lap. She curled up. And that's the moment when we decided to take a nap. So not really thinking about the consequences and the constraints, because obviously being here means we had to pull a lot of strings to make sure the cat is okay. But we get updates every day with a picture of our little fur baby. So that's kind of how I see now. And I want to go back to the first one where we recognize that there are constraints. There's things that we need to deal with. We can't kind of always make those decisions to live in the now. Talking about here and now. And I want to create opportunities to live here and now. So I go back to what we just did. Like, I'm going to get a little bit more active with everyone. We just talked a little bit about the Global Server Jam. And we're going to do that in 15 minutes. So instead of a weekend, I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes. And we're going to workshop opportunities to live in the now. To create chances to do something that breaks away the constraints and barriers. The first thing I want you to do, and this is an individual exercise, I want you to think about what does now mean to you? What does now mean, and what kind of opportunities do you see to live in the now? So while you guys think about that, I'll give you a minute. Marcel and I will go and hand out sheets. Did we bring paper? Yep, we'll hand out sheets of paper, and we'll continue from there on. Okay, so think about now. What opportunities do you see? What excites you thinking about now? Anything is possible at this moment.
Yeah.
It sounds like everyone had the chance to think about it, and now we're going to use the paper, but we do need to fold it in a certain way. Okay. So, first we're going to fold it straight up like this in half. Doesn't need to be exact, but yeah. Okay, and then we're going to make 3 squares. So you fold right to the center and left to the center. So you have one square like this. Yes, so left and right go like that. And then you open it up and you see you created 6 squares. For the first exercise, we're going to use the 3 squares on the left side, top to bottom. I hope I gave you enough time to think about the now and what opportunities now can bring. This is a blue sky exercise, which means that anything is possible at this moment. So what opportunities do you see now, or to live in the now? And I want you to write those down. You can draw, you can write. It's very clear, one small idea on each square. If you have only one, it's totally fine. If you have 2, use 2 different squares. If you have 3 ideas or 3 opportunities which enable you to live in the now, use these 3 squares. I'm going to give you 1 minute. It's a little bit of a time pressure, I know. Usually we get a weekend long to do this. 3, 2, one. So what I expect is that you have 1, 2, or 3 opportunities, something that enables you to live in the now. You see opportunity to really get the most out of now. And now we're going to get a little bit more back to reality, because there are constraints. As I saw with COVID, it had constraints on me and my working life, my career. So I had to get within those constraints, get creative. So I want you to use those 3 to write down the constraints. So what is it that holds you back from actually acting on those opportunities? It can be something very big, it can be something very small, but what are those constraints? What keeps you from seizing the opportunity that you just wrote down on the left side? It can be something big and abstract, it can be something very tangible. If you had a couple opportunities and you don't see constraints everywhere, it's totally fine as well. I do really want to see and encourage you to have at least one constraint for one of the opportunities you just saw. I'm going to finish it up in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Take a big breath. And relief. I'm putting you guys on the spot. I know you might not expect it to do something. You just want to sit down, listen, have a cup of coffee. It is 9 a.m. in the morning. I totally understand that. But we're here now, and you just put down something that enables you to do something, to live in the now, to find the opportunity. So all the events that I've done around design thinking and service design are all about collaboration. Because you can come up with a great idea, that doesn't mean that your idea is actually going to work out. So you always need to have certain moments throughout the process where you either test with a peer, you test with an expert, or with the user. And this is the moment where you're going to share. So find a partner. It's easier to have couples of 2. And I want you guys to share your opportunities, the ones that you see in your life that you can apply, and the constraints it has. I'll give you 1 minute to explain that to the other, and then the other one gets 1 minute as well. If it's quicker, if it's only 30 seconds, if it takes Marcel 30 seconds to explain it to me, and something sparks, and I'm like, oh, maybe you can think of this, or oh, maybe you can add that, you're free to add. The only thing that I want you to avoid is say yes, but. So if you come up with an idea, or and I say yes, but, that is an indication that I kill her idea, and I say, yeah, I listen to you, but it's not a good idea, you should do this. So try to start your feedback with yes and. So someone tells their opportunity and tells their restraint, and you say yes and, you can think of this and this. I encourage you to do that. Okay, I'm going to start the timer for 1 minute. So one of you guys can start talking to the person next to you. And now we switch, so the other person explains their opportunities and constraints, and you get to give them feedback. So now we swap it. Yeah.
Okay, let's
It's very important to keep sharing. we unexpectedly got ourselves into a conversation about being smart with your financial means. So that was, I already got something out of it today. Sharing is important, and if you do a whole design thing or service design process, you'll see that you'll do it in multiple different ways. But we're going to do it very quick this morning. So we've done the sharing, and now we're going to frame up from the constraints that you see and you just explained. We want to make that into a very strong problem statement, and this problem statement will push you forward to drive for a solution. Marcel know this, Kate's know this, maybe some of you guys know as well, but we call it a how might we statement. It's a statement that will open up opportunities to find a solution. It does not hold a solution. So you can't say, how might we, oh shit, now I'll put myself on the spot, not having thought about it. But you cannot have a solution in your problem, because we're really thinking about the problem right now. We're not yet finding a solution. So it's called how might we, and you can pick one constraint, or you can combine some into one problem statement, which we're going to try to solve. It can look, let me see, yeah, so this is what it could look. So for me, I see an opportunity in spontaneous city trips. I live in Hong Kong, so it's super easy to get on a plane. It's a real international hub. I can be anywhere in Southeast Asia in 2 hours, so there's a great opportunity for me. Now the constraints are lack of money. I can't go travel every week, even though I want to. I'm not even talking about the ecological impact it has. Purely talking about the financial means at this moment. So my how might we, I'm not talking about a solution yet, but how might we, in this case, it's of course how might I, but the official statement is how might we, so people do that. How might we create financial clarity so that we have confidence to make snap decisions? So if there is an opportunity to go to the airport right now, I can confidently say yes. So that is the problem statement, and the what we want to drive for. We want to drive for this confidence. So I want to invite you guys to flip your sheet so you have an empty blank canvas. Start your sentence with how might we or how might I, and then try to reframe your constraint into the problem that we're trying to solve. So you're going to start with how might we, and go back to the constraints that you just discussed with your neighbor. How can you phrase that down as a problem which you want to solve through this statement?
No, it is easy after all.
Again, try to stay away from the solution. So I can't say how might I work more to make more money and have more money in the bank, because that's a solution. The solution is to work more. So we don't want the solution just yet. We don't have much time left, so I'd love to continue this, finish up for another cup of coffee.
Het kan andere dingen zijn.
Mark, what's up? Thank you. Let me tell you the next step.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Like I said, it is about sharing, it is about sense checking. So this is the moment where you share with your partner again your how might we. Really try to explain your how might we, what the problem is you want to solve, and the means. So it should be a really quick one, should be 30 seconds. If you listen to it and there's a solution in it, propose a different how might we. Propose or find a way to stay away from the solution and really stay in the problem situation. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves just now. Okay, so turn to your partner and discuss your how might we.
In the it's a little, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to bring it back to me, please. Okay. Who by a quick show, who got a little bit more clarity by explaining it to another? Maybe just in your head, maybe you got advice. Who got a little bit more clarity? Okay, okay, quite more than half, definitely, because it helps, right? It helps to get it out, even if it's just repeating it for yourself, but to someone else. You're using different words, you're using different analogies, and it gets more clear in your head, even if there's not necessarily any feedback. So there's always a lot of purpose in doing a lot of value. We're almost at the end. Again, this is the fastest workshop I've ever run. But now that we know what the problem is, we can start to think about the solution. What I wanted to do initially is have you think about your own solution, but now I'm actually thinking about maybe you should swap your sheets and have the other one think about what kind of solutions they can think of. Because the step we often, the trap we often step into is I have a problem and I already have a solution in my head. Many businesses go to consultants saying, I want an app. And the app is not the solution. They have a big problem, they have a meta problem that needs to be solved, and an app is not necessarily the solution to it. But because we're so trained to think in solutions, when we're babies, we get little packs, round packs go into the round hole, square packs in the square. You know you need to think solutions as soon as you're a kid. That's just how we're born, that's how we grew up. So I want to stay away from that. But obviously when you write your how might we, that bias is still in there. You might have a little idea to solve it and you slipped it in your how might we. So to break away from that, I would love for you to share your how might we. So swap the sheets and give the other person the opportunity to come up with some solutions for your problem. Obviously you don't have all the data, all the knowledge. You probably just met this morning. So maybe the solutions are not a perfect fit, but this is your thinking right now. So you can really get creative and try to solve the other person's problem. You can write, you can draw, you can come up with 10 ideas, you can come up with one. It can be complex or simple. Okay, bring it back one more time. Bring it back to me. I would have loved to do a bit of a sharing session now. I'm very curious to hear what you guys came up with. But we're very short on time. So what I suggest we do is that I'm going to close it, we're going to call it a day, but you guys can still hang out, have another cup of coffee and share your experience, share your solutions with each other. I will definitely walk around and talk to you guys because I'm very curious about what came out of it. And I hope that even if it's the slightest bit, it will help you a little bit to live now. So this is it for me. As a Creative Morning host, we always want to connect, collaborate, and inspire our community. I know that's what Marcel is trying to do, that's what I'm trying to do in Hong Kong, and I hope that my talk today did the same thing with you guys. The first activities was to get to know each other, that's where I wanted to connect. The second part I tried to tease you a little bit and think about now. I hope that was a little bit of inspiration. And you ended up collaborating, all of you. You might not know, I know most of you didn't know each other before this morning, and now you had maybe pretty personal and intense conversations. So I hope there's a bit of a collaboration and connection there. My name is Mark, have an amazing Friday, and I hope to see you guys again.
We don't want to let you go without thank you.
Nice.
And I heard about empty bottles of wine, and then I think, oh, thank God, he's not a non-drinker. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. First, let's have another cup of coffee.